Welcome to the Choir Directors Academy. I'm your host, Angela Elaine. Yay! We do want to commemorate. Hey, Beatrice. We do want to commemorate. Today is September 11th, the day that fateful day in 2001. That event inspired the Iraqi Freedom War, which my brother was a major and a commander in that war. And later on, we lost him due to that war. But, unfortunately, it happened. There were many lives lost on that day. And subsequently, after that day, there were a lot lost. So we remember that day, and I definitely remember my brother. I miss him vehemently. But, of course, that's part of his life and what he was required to do. So we're going to leave it like that. But I am praying for the families, just like myself, who are still feeling the pain and the loss of their loved one due to whether they were in the tower or whether they were at ground zero or whether they were in the military, firefighters, whatever they did. We always want to remember that. And then we also want to remember the other massacres and things that have gone on preceding us, whether you're African American, whether you were in Poland, whether you were in the country, the continent of Africa, wherever. We always want to commemorate that because somebody is always grieving. Somebody is always experiencing some form of loss. So we always want to keep them in our prayers. Amen? Amen. Now to the task at hand. Do you think you can direct? I need to have that would be a good show for me to do. Just invite a bunch of people, open it up, how they do. So you think you can sing and have all these different people with names and tags and have them to direct a song and just see how they come out. Because it's I'm telling you, I see some things and I'm just like, as a director, I just kind of sit back and go, oh my God, is this really happening? Anyway, number one, let's get started. So you think you can direct. I come across a lot of people. Now, let me just throw this out here. I am not a god or a demagogue when it comes to directing. It's just something that God has blessed me. Just like Lady Leia is a soloist, and she's a phenomenal singer. I love her. That's her gift. So she would be more apt to comment on, singing techniques and things of that sort. I can do it, but I sing, but I'm not really a singer like her. Hi, Denisha. But over my span of time, I have encountered a lot of people that direct, and you kind of sit there and look at them like, you just notice a lot of different things. And the term choir director is used so loosely. It's just like if you just standing in front of the choir doing this, they say you're a choir director, but that's not the true definition of a choir director. And I think I did that show a year ago that explained what exactly a choir director is, which in our churches we say we lead that title more towards minister of music, but technically a choir director is a person whose gifts expand a gamut of things. But number one, which is something that I don't really think people are doing when they start directing, and that's you need to pray. I don't think, from what I've been seeing for the last 2.5 months, folks ain't praying. If you're doing something in the church, whatever it is, you need to pray. But you definitely need to be praying before you direct a choir. Because first of all, and don't wait till the day before or the day of trying to get your mind together. You need to do it. It needs to be part of your character. Because first of all, it will eliminate the flesh. If you pray and seek God before you do stuff, it will eliminate the flesh. And we see so much of that. Hey, Don, we see so much flesh activated. And when I see people and you can see the shift. And it's just like, really? And you just mess up stuff when you're in the flesh. So you need to pray and ask God to give you direction as to how you need to do things, your attitude, whatever. But just the first thing you need to do, and I do it all the time. Before I stand up, I may look like I just walk up there and it just flows. It's flowing because I'm in the face of God, right? I take time to pray, to read my Bible. I consecrate myself, and then I do whatever I do. Whatever God calls me to do. Okay. So prayer is first of all. I'm trying to help you because I'm telling you what I'm seeing now is just mass chaos. And and the thing is, what we don't realize is whatever is in our spirits come off on the choir. So if you're directing and you're full of hurt, pain, anger, whatever, you got all this stuff going on, don't you know that that comes out in your music, that comes out in your movement? Spirits transmit to other spirits. And then when you got confusion going on inside of you and mayhem and all that kind of stuff, when the choir sing, they're going to be confused. I seen the director do that. Person just directing down and something going on with them because I'm looking at the choir and it was just confusion everywhere. And I'm just sitting there going, somebody didn't pray. They just walked in, and just, you have to pray and get yourself in sync with God before you stand before the people and do what you got to do. That's number one. Number two, hey, Lady of Wisdom, Demetria Pitts is on. Number two, assess your group before you pick a song. Assess your group. Okay? I see people doing that where they pick a song and you haven't even looked at who you have. Why pick a song that requires like a strong soprano section? Let me just use that as an example. And you sit there and see you got 3 weak sopranos. You don't have your strong, but you got your 3 weak sopranos. Why would you do that? Why? I mean, some people, they just pick songs. This is what we're singing. And I sit there and look, I'm like, you don't have the people to sing this. You don't have the people. I mean, one young director did that. He was like, oh, well, we're going to sing He Reigns. Vincent Bohannon, He Reigns Forever. And I'm looking at him. Half the people you got behind you, sir, is 60 years old. They are not going to sing He Reigns Forever. I don't care if they know it. You are not going to get... I said, did you even look at the people that you got behind you? And then he called like 3 other songs. I'm like, look at the people that you got behind you. They can't pull that off. Okay? Assess your group. Okay? Look at them and see whether they can handle whatever you're trying to do. Okay? If you got a group of people and they're familiar with a whole lot of songs, because just because people are in the choir don't mean that they listen to choir songs all the time. So, generally we are not, when you got these community choirs and you handpick people, your church is big enough where you can handpick your crowd, then you can probably just throw a song out willy-nilly and they just get it and you just run on and whatever. But when you have people, hey, Lisa, hey, Bernard, when you have people that are not like into that, you have to be careful what you're doing. Don't just pick something out the ass and say, this is what we gonna sing. Well, I got a leaders and you can't do that. Whenever I'm directing, I don't care if it's state mass choir, if it's I walk in the church and then they tell me, when can you direct the choir? Okay. Or my own church choir. I do not just willy-nilly pick a song. I try to there are some standard songs that we can sing, like I Come That You Might, A More Abundantly, Great God. Some of them songs you can sing. I don't care if folks in the choir is 80. They can sing that. Okay? Hey, Clifford. Hey, Nancy. They can sing that. But you need to be careful and realize who you dealing with. Know your musicians. Know what they're capable of doing before you get up and just run off, because you're gonna have mass confusion and chaos and all kinds of mayhem, and everybody's just gonna be sitting there looking like, what in the whole world is this? And you saying, think about it, you telling everybody that you this grand director and you this and you that. When you tell people that you are a choir director of means, they're expecting a certain level of performance from you. It's just like myself. I got the academy, and some people have seen me out with my choir out. When I walk up, and when I walk up, I'm like, oh my God, dear Jesus, help me. I don't know what I'm getting ready to do. I don't know what. I'm just like praying, like, Lord, help me. When I get up, when they call my church choir, they call state choir, they call whoever choir I might be directing, I'm just like, Lord Jesus. When I walk up there, people are already expecting a certain level. They like, oh, I know she got it. Well, hold on now. Hold on. Don't say I got it. Y'all better pray for me. And then people will tell you that see me, I'll be like, y'all better pray for me, because I'm just like, I'm not dependent on my own. I'm depending on the Lord. And I think that Brother Craig said it becomes a show-off spirit when you don't heed that advice. Exactly. You have to do that. Demetri Pitt said, because every choir has an A, B, C group. Hello, somebody. That means every group is not capable of successfully doing everything. Exactly. You have to know, because you're going to walk yourself into a disaster. Number 3. This is a very huge pet peeve of mine. Do not let the choir continuously sing out of tune. Fix it. Don't sit there. I've seen people just directing down, and the choir is so bad, and they steady directing, and you sitting there going, don't you hear these people out of tune? Fix it. And they just keep directing like, yeah, sing choir. And I'm like, what in the whole world? You know, me, personally, I don't care if the presiding bishop is standing there. If y'all out of tune, I'm finna fix this. I don't care. Sopranos, sing your note. Tenors, out. I don't care. I will stop and I will go to the instrumental, and then I'm looking at the choir like, y'all are out of tune. I will fix it. But I've heard people, just smiling and whatever else. And I'm like, are you cognizant that that is not the key of D? That they are in something else? Fix it, y'all. This. I'm telling you. So you think you can direct. If you hear your choir out of tune, fix it. Demetri said, I think in some cases the director can't hear. Judith, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, said the director at times get into the music instead of the parts. Exactly. Don Mayberry said, when you're in tune with the spirit, you will know which way to go and which songs to do, but then many don't have the spirit. Hello. Pam says, yes, operating excellence. Exactly. I'm not going to sit there and hear you out of tune and not fix it. Because, hello, more than waving of hands to the back. Fix it. Do not sit there and let your choir, and especially when you close up on them, you can just, my choir might get out of tune, and sometimes they do. Even my church choir, they get out of tune, and we might be standing in front. I do my little step, I do it smooth, and I get in front of them like, that ain't the note, y'all. Here you go, dun, Jesus is my help, dun, dun, and I'm like moving. The audience think that I'm just like, oh, I am feeling it. I ain't clowning. I am feeling it. But I'm giving the pitches because you out of tune. What are you doing? Okay? You have to do that. Don't, but, and then the flip side of that, y'all, is that you give your choir develops a confidence in you that no matter what happens, she's not going to let us look bad. She's going to cry. You know what I'm saying? That helps them. Number 4, give clear signals. Okay? You cannot be doing all this moving and throwing signals at the same time and expect all of us to know what you're doing. You can't do that. You I'm not trying to tell you how to direct. Okay? I understand, our backgrounds determine how we do. What you sing, how you develop it. Everybody has a different style. We're not cloned, okay? I'm not cloned, neither are you. However, when you're directing, make sure that we know where you're going. Sometimes I speak the words. Like if we're singing, this is a sound of, I may do some sound or, victory or something. But make sure you give clear. You don't want to be doing all this and we don't know where you're going. Okay? Make clear. Whatever you do. Everybody's not the same. If you're doing this, then hold your hand up. Let us know what you're doing. And please communicate to the musicians. That's a pet peeve. I'm a musician as well. And tell me where you're going. Okay? Don't let me have to sit there and guess. And I'm jumping from chord to chord trying to keep up with you because I don't understand. Give clear signals. Number 6, do not try to be the quarterback. You understand what I'm saying? We are not in competition when we direct. But in a host of other directors or directresses directing, there's like, some people have like this competition thing, like they sit there and watch everybody else, and then I got to get up and I got to make the play, and I got to, I got to outdo you and all of that, and I got to whatever. And I hate to see directors do that. Generally, Pastor David and Sister Pam, a lot of them, you have seen me direct, or you've seen a video of me directing. I generally keep the song, when I go through it, I generally stay with the format of the song. Especially when you have a mass choir and everybody didn't make rehearsal and they just studied the song. So I kind of stick with that song until everybody kind of get in the groove. They do know me that I'm going to add something else and I'm going to throw something else in there. But I try to keep it standard because I don't want people to get off. But then I see people like competing and trying to do some extra, something different to say, well, oh, I'm better than this person or whatever. You don't have to do all of that. That's another spirit. That's flesh coming in there, just messing up the whole ball of wax. You don't need to do that. Just be yourself. You're not the quarterback. Okay, we're not winning the Super Bowl, nothing like that. We're not going for a touchdown. We're just going to give God the glory and sing and get everybody working together as a well-oiled machine. That's all we're trying to do. Okay, so you don't have to be the quarterback. Just direct the song. Okay, just direct the song. And as you going along, maybe you can throw something extra in there that everybody will kind of catch, but you need to communicate what you're trying to do. Communicate is key. Directing is one side of directing that most people miss is communication. You must communicate. You have to be yourself. Sometimes, and it's not a bragging point or anything like that. And I'm not old either. But some people try to direct like me or try to handle a choir like me. But you can't do that. Understand? I have 40 years. I've been directing like this since I was 5 years old. So I got at least 40 years, 40 to 45 years of experience directing the choir. And when I say directing the choir, my mother was a choir director. So at 5 and 6 and 7 years old, I was teaching parts. I was playing an instrument. I was doing solos. I was directing in front of crowds. And at that time, my church that we belonged to had over 200, almost 300 or 400 people. So, I mean, this is years. So when you see me doing what I'm doing, I got decades behind me. And not to mention that God has blessed me in my career to win trophies and award. I got so many trophies and awards and plaques and stuff from competitions won and all that kind of. So, I mean, you can't compete with somebody else that has years versus you may have just been doing the surface stuff. You can't compare that. And also I'm a vocal coach. So I know how some techniques I've learned that are very instrumental in the Black church, especially when you're dealing with people who are not musically in depth. You understand what I'm saying? They're not like me. Like if I go to choir rehearsal and there's about 10 people in there that kind of in the ballpark that I'm in, well, that choir rehearsal is going to be totally different from me directing a mass choir. Because most of us already can sight read. So all you do is give me the sheet music. I'm gonna know how to do this. So they don't have to do a whole lot of work. Whereas when you're dealing with a mass choir with people of all different musical levels and heights, you need to come with a technique that works. And with me, it's better to have you to learn the basic song. So when you come to rehearsal, I don't have a lot of work to do. And that's how I am with my choir, the one that I won competitions with. I just give them the song. They learn it on their own. And some other choirs have taken on that technique. That's fine with me. It works. And let you learn it on your own. And then when we come to choir rehearsal, then maybe I can throw some extra stuff in there. Why? Because you know the basics. You have to get the basics right. And that's really what I'm trying to do. You must be yourself. You can't copy anybody else. This is not, when you work for God, it's not about competing. It's not about, I was in competition, but that was kind of a secular thing, even though they had some gospel things in there, but it was a secular thing. They judge just on sight reading. They judge just on diction, on performance, on breathing techniques, appearance, your stand, your posture. How long can you hold that measure? How long can you hold that note? And I don't want 4 beats. I want 16. You just got to hold it. I mean, all kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm sharing is not, I don't have insecurities when directing. I don't have any. I don't. Because I already know God is already, when God puts you in something, either he proves you to a point where you can take the next level up and you can grow and develop more, or depending on what level it is, he will already prove you or anoint you before you even get there. Okay. But the most important thing is that you have to have a humble spirit. Even if even in my way, I make sure I have a humble spirit. Because y'all, I'll take the back seat in a minute. I mean, when I went to Bishop Wells' convocation, I sat all the way in the back. I was the second seat from the back, from the ushers. I stayed right there until he saw me and made me come up front. And I was looking at him like, I ain't got to come up there. I'm pretty comfortable where I am. It's not about that for me. It's just not. It's about doing the will of God. And when I stand before the people of God, that they walk away with a beautiful experience. I don't want anybody that's in the rehearsals that I manage or in the choirs that I manage walk away and be like, oh my God, why am I in this choir? Oh my God. I walk away more depressed than oh my God, I don't want that. Okay. And neither do you. You don't want that. So these are just tips that I've learned that have been proven and tried over the time. Sierra says, yes, you are your own person. Be comfortable with your talent. You must be. Number 8, I kind of dabble into that. It says, be pleasant, have a good attitude. You're not a superstar. You lead by example. Leave the unfriendliness stuff out there. Don't bring it into church. Don't bring all that stuff into church. It's not time to showboat. It's not time to be the star. Just let it go. Okay? And number 9, I had get past yourself. I seen this. Yeah, okay. I'll post it later. This last one, and this is my last one because, y'all, I got a whole lot to do today. I got to go. I have a convention. The regional convention is tomorrow, and I need to get my mind back over there. This is one that I really kind of bothers me, but it's okay. It's my number 9 was get past yourself. As a leader, it's okay if you sing in the background with the choir. Some people, once they get certain titles, I don't want to sing with the choir. It's not gonna kill you. I mean, I'm like, how come you don't want to sing with the choir? That's where you got your start. I mean, seriously, I know directors, they don't want to sing with the choir. Oh, no, I don't sing with the choir. Okay, I don't have a problem with it. I sing in the background of anybody's choir and just be just as loud as whatever, because I understand it's not about me. I don't care. I mean, Lisa Ivy sees me all the time. I stand in the back, I sit there, I push all of them up front, and I be in the background. I'm like, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother you. When you know who you are, and that's what I said, we got to get past ourselves and get healed and delivered and set free. All these things that I'm talking about, you won't do if you heal, delivered, and set free. Choir directors need deliverance. We need prayer. We need supplications. We need all of that in order to execute the job honestly. Okay? And that's why I'm able to give everybody a chance. Everybody don't understand everything that I do. And I do get my orders from the bishop and from, he tells me what he wants to see. And I have to comply with that. But at the same time, I'm still cognizant of the people that are sitting there that want opportunities to do things. And I do my best to work them in. And I come up with things and seasons so that they can get an opportunity to do something. Okay? So those 9 things came up to me. Let me recap them real quick, and then I'm done. Number 1, pray before you get up before that choir. Please do that. Pray. Number 2, check your group out. See who you got with you before you start picking these songs running off. Number 3, don't let the choir, if you're dealing with a mass choir or whatever choir, don't let them continue to sing wrong and out of tune and be out of sync. I seen one director, he was so busy trying to direct, the choir was moving like a snake. I'm like, don't you see that? Don't you see? I mean, when I'm directing, I notice everything. I notice that everybody could be moving and singing. I see that one person out of sync. I'm like, move with the group. I can hear that one person out of tune. You out of tune. You flat. Okay? Do that. Give clear signals. We went through that. Make sure the choir moves as one. I just said that, snake-like. Number 6, don't quarterback. We don't need superstars. Just direct the song as it is. If God give you an illumination, communicate it to everybody, please. Just be yourself. Be yourself when you direct. Don't try to be somebody else. Just direct like you, okay? Number 8, be pleasant. Have a good attitude. Lead by example. People will follow. And number 9, get past yourself. Be healed, be delivered, be set free. Do that and you'll be surprised. I won't have to come to you and say, so you think you can direct. Everybody around will know that God has blessed you with a gift to share with the people of God. Whether they're in the choir or they're in the audience, you will invoke a joy and a praise in them. That's all I got, y'all. See, it really wasn't that bad. My title was catchy, though. I know my title was catchy, but I enjoyed sharing these points with you, and I hope you enjoyed me as well. I hope you did. Thank you for hanging out with me on tonight, and you all have a lovely evening and a lovely week, and peace.